Welcome to the show. This series is entitled How to Be a Better Teacher or Entertainer, or both. If you're a teacher, you are an entertainer. And if you are an entertainer, you are a teacher too. Today we're going to talk about how to make puppets and ventriloquist figures. The ones we're talking about today are called soft sculpture puppets. Let's go to the workshop and see what we're doing. This is what the half-inch foam looks like. Last time I showed you how to make foam cloth puppets, and today we're going to continue. This is my family that I've collected over the past 20-some years, and the first polyfoam soft sculpture puppet that I made was Zeke the Junk Food Freak, right here. And I took one of the puppets, as you're going to see a little bit later, the puppet heads, and added soft sculpture to Zeke, and some little red gloves, and jeans, and a little leather jacket that was used, and a beard, and a little coonskin cap, and made my first puppet. Well, I'm really busy with the programs and the things that I do, so I started looking around for someone who could help me make the puppets. And I found a young man here in Alma some years ago, and he made this head here. He made it as it was originally a gypsy. I can't remember what his name is now, because he just made the one puppet, and I turned it into Mrs. Longnecker here, and added some glasses. Those were my glasses, and my mom's hat, and one of my mom's old wigs, when wigs used to be popular, and my mom's fur coat and scarf, and she was my second polyfoam soft sculpture puppet. Well, then I was very blessed to run into a friend named Joyce, who was into soft sculpturing, and so I taught her how to make the puppets like I had, and she started to work on developing the different faces to go with my characters, and so I put them all together that way. And I'm going to introduce you real quickly to some of the characters that I have. This is Angus McTavish, the Scotsman, and here is Peggy, and next to Peggy is Max, and then Professor Lester and his wife Hermilla, and next on that side is Mrs. Bertram, and then Susie Space Case, and around the corner is Frank Elmer, the little farmer boy. Down here on the floor is Minnie Happy Returns, the Chief's cook and bottle washer, Chief Runamuck, and over here is Scarlet, the cowgirl, and next to her is Red, her boyfriend, the cowboy, and then Who Fooling You, the Chinese magician, or Who Fooling Who, and up above is Dorky, and there's little Roger on the floor, the little Gramps' little grandson, the railroad engineer's little grandson. Okay, over here is Lord and Lady Dundee and the bride's groom, Francois, and then the bride, whose name is Rebecca of Checkerboard Farms, then the ugly bridesmaid, Gertrude, and then over here is Granny Pringle and her husband, the railroad engineer, Grandpa Pringle. Up above is Sassy, the twin, and then Sissy, her sister, and then there's little Rachel, the baby twin, and baby Ruthie, and then there's Rudy, the other baby twin, and then the two twin girls, Holly Hobby and her sister Dolly Hobby. Now we're going to show you how these puppets were made. Soft sculptured puppets, you're going to need some polyfoam. And so a likely source would be an arts and crafts store where I've found some wrapped up in a package, a dime store. This is what the half-inch foam looks like. This was a single bed mattress topper. This is what the same thing for 1-inch foam. That was half-inch. This is 1 inch. I, right lately, have been liking the 1-inch because it makes the puppet a lot fuller. You can do either one. If you would like, I will send you a free pattern of the head that I'm going to show you today, which you will need. You will send a double-stamped business-size self-addressed envelope to Barbara Dewey, 731 North State, Alma, Michigan, 48801. Now at this time, you might like to start recording the different directions because at this point I don't have any directions on my pattern. I really should do that, take some time out to do that for you. But that way you'll know how to make the puppets. Well, first of all, you're going to cut some foam. Now, I'm going to show you, first of all, the big size. Now, if you want a smaller size puppet, you can reduce the puppet pattern on a copy machine. But you cut out, you lay out your pattern on the foam and dot around it with a marker, and you do the same with the sheet. I told before that the puppets will rot if you don't have a covering over top. So a sheet, some kind of a sheet or material, just plain material that you could fasten to the other side. My favorite thing to use is a hot glue gun. Something else that you can use is contact cement, but the hot glue gun will work a lot better than the contact cement. And again, I've mentioned that Magic Melt by Crafty is not so hot to the touch when you're gluing. All right. Now, with the hot glue gun, you glue the parts together, the front and the back. Let me show you on the smaller size. I've done all the same thing on the smaller size. Now, so you would know. See, I've left this part unglued. The notches together at the top are glued, and then together around the face. Make sure you don't glue the mouth together. The chin together, the front of the head together, the back of the head together. Leave this part where you get the room for the opening, and this part I left undone. I didn't do this. This was done by Kathy, my producer's wife, who's a really good craftsman, and she's been helping me with these heads. Okay. Now, one way that you can do the covering, you need a covering to sew to, and one way that you can do it is by using cloth, like I taught on the cloth-covered polyfoam puppets. But you don't have to do that when you're doing the soft sculpture puppets, and I'll show you why. You can cut out a piece of felt or a heavier piece of material and glue it to the foam in place of having the covering, which is a lot easier than a person does not have to use a sewing machine at all, which is nice for people that don't have a machine. So the next thing we're going to worry about is the mouth. Now, again, when you write for the free pattern, I want to send you the mouth pattern and the arm pattern and also the leg pattern. So just be sure to send a double-stamped business-size self-addressed envelope to my address. Now what you do is use some plain Bristol board with the mouth pattern. Trace it. I'm going to turn it over. This has on the inside another piece of felt to make the piece of cardboard more sturdy, and also the two lines in the middle so that we've got a little action like that come from a ruler and a pen. It's marked on the pattern. You score. It means you run your pen or a sharp object back and forth until it's ready to bend with a little scoring right there.